So for mini Project 2, I decided to make a quick and simple guitar tuner called QuickTune. It is a splash screen, so we have a text view where we set the gravity to the bottom center, giving it the title or the ID text title. Over here is our code for it, so we have a timer task that we reference, create a timer task, new timer task, we have it finished so that it'll start a new activity and take us from the splash screen.this to main activity.class. Here we have a timer called opening, create a new timer, so opening schedule task for 500 milliseconds, and that's how long it should pop up. Over here is the main body of our app, so we have a whole row of image views, so low E, A, B, G, B, and high E, those are our strings. Over here we have a whole row of buttons. Whenever you press these, it'll sound off the note, and then it'll hide the rest of the buttons until you pause it. Over here, main activity is all of our code, so we declare our variables, all the buttons, all 6 of them. We have 6 media players, and then we create an int variable called playing, initialize it to 0 so that we can toggle it on and on, or on and off. Create button references for each button, create on-click listeners for each button. We create new instances of media players and assign the sound clips, and then we loop those sound clips. So MP low E equals new media player, MP low E media player, create this, and then we reference our raw folder over here and assign it the correct sound. So low sound would be our low E sound. And here's our loop boolean. So MP low E dot set looping to true. That way it'll loop whenever the button is pressed. Copy paste that, repeat for everything else. Here's our on-click listeners for each button. So for B string low E, we use a switch statement to start the audio to change the text of the button whenever it's pressed, and then we'll hide all the other buttons by setting them to invisible. And we'll initialize the playing int variable to 1. And that's our case 1, so case 0, then case 1 down here for a second step, or second statement. For MP low E on pause, it'll set the playing int to 0, and then it'll change the looping variable, boolean variable over here to false, so it will stop playing. Copy and paste that, do that for each string. I feel like I've done that better, but this is how it's set up and working. And this is what it looks like. Just give a second, make sure it's loaded in. It is. Alright, so whenever we play these, it should have a splash screen, but that coding doesn't really work. So whenever we press one of these buttons, it should loop that sound over and over until we hit pause on it. Oh, it's still configuring. This isn't even the right one. Hold on. Okay, now. So now whenever we hit the button, it should loop it. There's one cycle, and then there's the loop cycle. Just to prove it's looping, 3rd time. You can pause it, unpause it, and that works for each one. And that's the mini Project 2 application.